earlier to get things kicking off. But as we wait for people to come in, evening, gents, how we doing?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Good to have you on tonight, Nicholas. And how's things been? I suppose you're less stressed with the Argyle doing a lot better than when you were last on.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit easier. We've raised a little bit of cash over the last few weeks, trying to raise a bit more, which I'm sure we'll talk about later on for the exit game. But yeah, it's going all right. It's definitely made things a little bit easier.
Good. So, yeah, did you finish the shirt giveaway as well? Has that all happened?
Not yet. So that one's closing after the Bolton home game. So we got a couple of weeks left on that one yet. We want to raise as much as we can for the exit game so that we can do something a little bit more special if we can. It all depends on money and time, and we've got a few ideas, but it boils down to cost at the end of the day and time frames on getting things ordered and shipped here in time. If not, we'll still do something. It still look really good. It'll still be better than what they did, which, face it, can't be too difficult. But yeah, we'll sort something either way. It'll be something decent there either way.
Good. So if you're all like, what? Hang on, it's not 7:30 yet. But evening to those of you, Morris, who's in, Stephen Cooper and a few others. We're just testing the old platforms from an engagement piece. Normally we do our countdown. I will have something different for this going forward. But generally, we wanted just to test something out and see how well it works. So we're not kicking off the show. We won't do that until 7:30. So we're just doing some preparation and sharing of the show. So if you are on your socials, please retweet the show. Would be appreciated. Andy, how has your week been this week? Much happening for you?
Not much happening work-wise, but a fantastic week. It's been really warm, as you all know. So I've been out with the dog quite a bit, taking some pictures with the camera and stuff. So yeah, loving it. And a good win on Tuesday night. So looking forward to talking about that later on.
It all helps, doesn't it? The race for the playoffs is hotting up. That is for sure. So, Gavin, it's been a busy one because you had the game Reading away. Then you watched the ladies on Sunday. Then Stevenage, obviously you didn't go to, but you still watched it. And then obviously back tonight for the show. Been a pretty hectic week in amongst your generally quiet day-to-day job.
Yeah, I'm knackered. I'm absolutely knackered. I've got a croaky voice knackered. That's how tired I am. But it was worth it. It was a good weekend in Reading. Stayed at the Voca Hotel inside the ground, which was nice, or net attached to the ground. Got back about 11 o'clock, I think, after the game on Saturday. Up with the kids early, cooked everybody a roast, doing my father's or my Mother's Day duties. And then went to the ground and ran round after the kids and watched the ladies convince it. Well, they should have won about 35-0. They hit the crossbar and the post, I think 5 or 6 times in the first half and twice in the second half. So it's like 7 times hit the woodwork in one game, which I've never seen before ever. I actually thought their keeper had a force field on the goal line at one stage. And we scored. Our only goal in the first half was a wretched deflection from a shot that was going to be saved and went the other way. And then they controlled it, which was fine. So that was good. Sunday, Tuesday night was a bit flat, wasn't it? All round. 13,500 was not on my bingo card for an attendance. But a good win against a team that should never be playing in the Football League, playing like that, I have to say. I did have a couple of moments during the game. But if you're going to play like that, just give the game up. Just sell the club and just go play Gaelic football or something. What is the point in playing like that? It's just horrible, disgusting. Like, no wonder they only get 3,000 a week at Stevenage and they're in the playoffs. Because why would you want to go and watch that? It's horrific.
It's mad. It is mad. It is mad.
And also, what I don't understand, having watched them now twice live this year, away and home, why the hell in God's earth did oh God, what's his name? Oh, my brain's dead. Our midfielder who came on. No, our midfielder who plays for them now.
Plays for them, Houghton.
Munda?
Yeah, Jordan Houghton.
Oh,
why did Houghton play for them? He just watches the ball go over his head from a centre half, over his head from a striker.
Harry's a good footballer, isn't he? He can play.
It's like, I'll touch the ball twice a game if I'm lucky. He's very good at doing the simple stuff, get it down, simple pass. And it made me giggle watching the Argyle analysis show. It's like 30 seconds of the game before the ball hit the floor. Thank you, Steve Houghton. 30 seconds before the ball hit the floor from kickoff.
Well, I'll tell you what, Gav. So for those who are sort of wondering, have we dialed in late? Did they say 7:30, 6:30, 4:30? No, we're going live a few minutes before just to help the platforms build up. We normally do our countdown for 5 minutes, but that actually has more of a negative impact for the start of the show because nothing's going on. So we were just talking about our weeks. So as it is now, to be precise, 1931, we're going to kick off good and proper. So evening all, lots to talk about tonight, that is for sure. Obviously Tuesday night at home to Stevenage in these two games that are massive for our race for the playoffs. And of course it was not the prettiest first halves at Home Park. And second half was better. We did come out of the blocks and have a go. And the set-piece maestro of Ronan Curtis delivering onto the head of Matthias Ross again. We got the only goal of the game. It felt like that from the start of kickoff, that it was going to be a scrappy, probably 1-0 win in that game. And so it was. But it was 3 points to the Greens, and that was so massive with the other results. Even Reading, and Mike is not in the chat tonight because he's coming back from Wales. Even they managed to score a last-minute winner as well to keep them in that final playoff spots. But with Huddersfield conceding late to Lincoln in the 93rd minute, obviously ourselves beating Stevenage. Yes, there were wins for Wickham, etc. as well, and Luton. But we're only a couple of points off, and depending on results, and if we can score a few and Stevenage suffer a few, there could be even that fifth place up for grabs come the end of this. Carl is working his shift tonight, so he's not with us, but we have brought Nick Tomlinson back in tonight, PAFC Displays. What more would he enjoy than coming on the show to join us to give us his views? The last time he was on, it wasn't so good, Nick, was it?
No, we weren't in a great run of form, were we? I think we were struggling a little bit. I mean, pretty much chalk and cheese, the complete opposite to where we are now, really. I think we just defeat after defeat after defeat, and we were just looking and thinking, what is going on here? But now we seem to have turned it around. I just gives you think of what if a couple of additions that we've had. What if we'd had those at the beginning? But it's going forward now. We're moving forward. We're looking at really dangerous side. I mean, even with the amount of injuries that we've got, we still seem to be finding this fight and this grit from somewhere to pull results out, like we did on Tuesday night. It wasn't the best of games, but we found a way to win it. Yeah. Could we be that team that always seems to? There always seems to be one team at the end of a season that seems to sneak up into the playoffs and have that momentum, because momentum's massive in the playoffs. Have that momentum and take it forward into the playoffs and potentially win the thing. Could we be that team this year? It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Let's face it.
Yeah, I think with the expectation back in November, almost having everybody panicking whether or not we would stay in the league, and the turnaround has been crazy. And I think the good thing is that for us it's all for nothing. We can just go out there, play with that confidence, and hopefully if we get, it's huge to get that win on Saturday. Could be very interesting. But it's good to have you back in. We'll get onto that game in a second, and of course I've got the videos and all that lot as well of the highlights. Andy, you doing okay yourself as well?
Yeah, excellent. Thanks, mate. Really delighted with the result, if not the performance on Tuesday night. But it's a building block now to bring some youngsters in maybe on Saturday to try to do the job, because we're going to be missing Kane, of course. But Caleb Roberts been brought back, so we'll talk about that later on probably. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm looking forward to Saturday now and getting another 3 points in the bag.
Yeah, good. And Gavin, I'll come to you and then also kick off with you on Tuesday night as well. So, I mean, the Reading game, obviously we weren't around for the post-match. Carl and I did the watch-along on Saturday. You were at the game. Andy was tied up with other appointments, and it was just like, you know what, we'll have to just wait till Thursday. And no, I'm not going to rekindle all the Reading stuff. But in the 2 games, the Reading game, we went behind twice, but our heads never dropped once. You know, we carried on battling with that grit and determination and some really good bits of play. And the same thing Tuesday night, isn't it? Like Cleverly said, you know, you'd rather win the really scrappy games than play pretty and not get something from it. And that could be the case again on Saturday, but it was an awful start. And it felt weird in the atmosphere. I don't know how you felt at the start of the game.
It was... Yeah, the atmosphere was flat. 13,500 really surprised me. I know it was St. Patrick's Day. I know a lot of games. I know that, you know, the world's got a war on and people have, you know, the Mad Orangeman has put the, that's not, by the way, sectarian. That means that twat Trump has put fuel and oil prices through the roof because he doesn't want to admit to, you know what, I won't say that because there's children present. So I expected about 15k there. 13.5 felt really off. However, having said that, you're Stevenage Football Club, you're 5th in the league, and you bring 160 people to a game of football. They might as well have just all jumped on a Ford C-Max with the boot and been done with it. It was just horrific. I know the club haven't been going very long. I know all that good stuff. I know the catchment area, they've got lots of bigger clubs. But God's sake, guys, you know, and the way they play football, as I said to you earlier, just give up the game. So it honestly felt like I'd watched 2 different teams. I'd gone and watched one club on a Saturday and another different club on a Tuesday in a different league, because we had a game of football that would have probably blessed the championship with, you know, the neutral championship supporting fan base going, wow, what 2 teams going at each other, slugging it there, playing quick end-to-end football with some quality, to a Tuesday night, what could have been, I don't know, Southern League Premier. It was awful. And that's not me dissing Argyle at all. It was just that they came to just be awfully horrible, and they did it. And I'm so glad we out shithoused them 1-0. I really am, because there is nothing worse than watching disgusting crap like that, and for them to nick a 1-0 and go home and think they're brilliant. They don't deserve to be anywhere near the playoffs. They don't deserve anywhere near the Football League playing like that, I have to say. Not a fan at all. But yeah, Tuesday was very well. The first 20 minutes was, I did consider going back down and having a glass of wine, I have to say. It wasn't great. Half time, and that he stayed, but you know, I thought they'd come out second half a bit brighter, which they did, to be honest. But it is nice to know that we can sip champagne and eat caviar on a Saturday, and then take, you know, a half-eaten McDonald's out of a bin on a Tuesday, and still win, which was really, for me, quite encouraging. So I was impressed with the tenacity of us basically out Stevenage, but I much would have preferred to watch a game of football than head tennis. And to have a game that kicks off and have nearly 30 seconds of the ball in the air, not touching the deck, it just said it all, really.
Yeah, it's sort of, Andy, it was one of those where it was you, we looked at each other about, I think it was 5 minutes in, and you went, this is going to, I think, just someone's going to win this 1-0. It's going to feel like that's the way it's going to go tonight. And I said to you, didn't I, that I got there and I was just like, the vibe, there doesn't feel like there's a vibe tonight, even though, you know, we are still within that race for the playoffs, and it was an important fixture. But and as Gavin said, there was a few thousand less than there was normally. That was clear from what you could see, and the small away following. But it's just one of those, isn't it? Grind it out and get the all important 3 points.
Yeah, mate, it was like a wet weekend in Grimsby, wasn't it? It was terrible. First half, ball was up in the air more than anything. I thought, I just shouted out, you know, get the ball on the ground and play, because we can play football, you know, against this lot. But it seemed to resort to what they were playing. It reminded me of us playing Wickham a few seasons ago, when Wickham was just exactly like that. Just came to kill the game and dull it out, and it was so dull the first half. Terrible.
They did. Stevenage did start the better of the two sides in that first half. In fairness, just couldn't get anything on the end of it.
We looked a little bit lackluster, didn't we? We weren't at the races, and I just think Stevenage came to ruin and spoil the game which they did to a T the first half. Second half was a lot better. Coming out and going at them again and getting the ball down on the ground and Curtis and Kane and orchestrating stuff. So yeah, that was big improvement second half and a well-deserved goal, really.
Yeah, I didn't think the ref was all that great either. Again on Tuesday night, that's just frustrating with these refs. It'd be good to see the back of that, and hopefully they look to improve that.
Don't think they're any better in the champ.
No, well, this is the whole problem with it all, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, Nick, there was the odd chance in the first half. I mean, Dale, Ross, obviously man of the match, was just fantastic. Again, we'll come on to that in a minute. But, Dale, I thought pit himself about well. He had that chance where I think he was still probably reeling from Curtis not passing to him in the dying seconds at Reading. That he had that rush of blood where he managed to run the ball down from the defender and steal it off him. And you could see Peppel giving him grief as he did Curtis after not passing it off to him. But didn't matter in the end because we got the 3 points. But I think the likes of Dale, he's starting to get into it now, isn't he? And he's starting to sort of find his rhythm, his final ball. And that, I think, yeah, to a degree. But it's great to see him sort of picking it back up in the games again, isn't it?
Yeah, he does. He gets himself in some dangerous positions, doesn't he? And I think when the ball's at his feet and he's got the ball in front of him and he's running, he does look quick and he does look like he could cause some trouble. I do think he's getting frustrated. You can clearly see he wants a goal. He's had a couple of good opportunities where he's tried to hit one from range. I think he had one a few games ago at Home Park where it was a really good effort. I mean, I think it moved a little bit and I think the keeper made a good save. He hit the bar. I think he might have hit the bar actually. But yeah, he's definitely coming into his own, but he's got to. I mean, we've got no one else at the moment that can play there. He's a squad player. We brought him in to do a job, and luckily he's starting to step up and he's starting to make a bit of an impact. Like I say, he works hard, and I mean, sooner or later that hard work's going to pay off, and he's going to get something on the end of it. It's going to be a good ball, and he's going to get himself a goal. He's not. He doesn't get his head down. He doesn't get annoyed and too disheartened. You can see that because he's constantly running.
You should have been there after the game at Reading. I thought he was going to lamp Curtis.
I heard he was very annoyed.
So a bit like, oh, okay, because he ended the game. He drops to the floor. He starts punching the grass.
I did see that.
Goes straight for Curtis. Why didn't you pass? Thought, okay, that'll be that. And then they're walking towards us. And they're still going at it. And then Nance comes over and puts his arm around him and is like, it's all gone, it's forgotten. Nance thinks it's all clear. As soon as Nance goes, he's back at him. Thought, oh, they're going to have a punch up in a minute. And then they threw him out for the press conference, which I thought was class, by the way. You're enraged. Your veins are still pumping in your neck. Go and talk to the press.
And that's good. That's good. I want to see that. It shows that they give a shit.
Well, for a lone player,
it shows that they care.
That's upset about not getting a winner shows absolutely the culture that they've derived.
Yeah.
And I was getting in my car outside the hotel to come home about 45 minutes after the game, letting the miles of traffic go because I think it was the most people that Reading had for since the Premier League. And Derek Adams walked past in front of my car. I was like, "Hey, Derek." That was good. He was like, yeah. I said, have the boys Queensbury rules it in the changing room? Is it all done? And he went, oh, yeah, it's because they want to win. But it was storming a teacup. And I thought, it didn't look like a storming a teacup to me. They were going properly at it.
It's good to see, though, because it means they care. Yeah, it shows exactly how much they want it as a group. So for me, I've got no issues with that.
But he did it again on Tuesday. He ran half the length of the field and then got tackled.
All he had to do is pass the ball either way, and one of them's in. It's like, come on, just release it now.
Yeah, it is good. I mean, I was literally still because we did a 20-minute recap after the live, and Carl went to make a drink, and I'm like, oh, something's kicking off here. All I could see was Curtis giving it held to someone back, and out of camera, I didn't know who it actually was at the time. But yeah, you could see, like, literally, I think sort of as we hit injury time, Curtis was struggling to move around and chase back, and as soon as it failed to him, I thought, oh, this is going to be tough. But also, as Carl said to me, I mean, you wouldn't have been overly confident laying it off to Dale either. There's always it is what it is.
The ball that was on was Amici.
Yeah, he was. He did. I think without watching it back, I felt he ran a bit too much offside, but it was probably
there was if you look at the analyst show, so Aaron does it beautifully. He framed it. The ball's at his feet. He's got him there. The defender's looking directly at Thingy, at Curtis, and behind him, 4 yards onside at the time, is Amici. Just a little slide ball into the box.
Yeah.
He puts it away. Left foot, first time, done. But
I think from that angle for Amici, yeah.
I'm hoping that Klaus is going to have a word about that to Curtis, because that's twice it's happened in 2 games now. And if it happens again on Saturday...
I don't think he'll need to have a word. I think the rest of the attackers have already had a word, or 20.
Yeah, definitely.
It's decision making, isn't it? You've got you've got to make a decision, not have 4 decisions in your head and do none of them, and that's what he's done.
I mean, it's easy for us to say. It's easy for us to say here, after the game, when you've seen the play, you've seen it play out. Like you should have done that. At the time, he's got to make that split decision.
Yeah, no, he has. Yeah.
Within a tenth of a second to decide whether to pass.
Not only that, in the 96th minute of a game, he's played 6-7 games on the bounce every minute of every game.
Exactly.
He's mentally and physically exhausted. So absolutely, I get it. Yeah. But I think if you're playing a higher level, you have enough break back. You're just going to slide that ball in, and we win. And by the way, it got tasty enough when it was 2-2. If we had, because there was, I don't know if you know about the stuff that was going on in the stands, but it was very tasty. So they went one up. There was about a metre between the 2 sets of fans. Our bars, they were about a third of the width of them between the two teams. They scored. There was a load of young kids, 15, 16, 17, giving it absolute beans when they scored. So when we equalised, it went back. And obviously they scored again, it went back. And then they started throwing coins, glass bottles, how they got them in the stand, I'll never know, lighters, anything they can get their hand on into us, right? And it got a bit tasty because there were about 3 stewards, no police, in between 2 sets of fans over about a metre between the 2. So if we had have scored that late winner, it would have been pandemonium at the back. And that would have been one of the best away days I've had for many a year. So, but unfortunately,
you don't mind so much if you're an Exeter fan in that end, right? And they're starting to throw money at you. You just pick it up and stick it in the fun, don't you?
I love that. Anyway,
the fans got enough money. It'll be the board going round, going, "Don't touch that. It's mine."
Yeah. It's thrown on our property. Thank you. Right, everybody. Evening to you all. As we just get a quick synopsis of the game. I've got the highlights to come to next, but get your comments in the chat. It's time for me to read some of those out. So if you are watching us across some of the streaming platforms, Facebook, X, TikTok, a little bit on Insta, then obviously, unfortunately, on TikTok, we can't see your comments in here, which is a shame. But raise some points amongst yourselves and debate what we say throughout the show. So let me just read out some of them. So Stephen Cooper was in off the blocks this morning saying, "Evening, guys. Looking forward to tonight. Hardy injured," laughing out loud. Well, is he definitely injured? We're not 100% sure if that is a definite he will make the game or not.
I've just read their press conference.
Yeah.
It says he's sore after his knock, and they're going to take a view tomorrow like we are with tonight.
Yeah, fair enough. Morris Football Talk says, "Love the Block 9, evening to you, Morris." And he's also paired up on YouTube, as has... oh, no, they haven't. Different person. Baz in the Cloud, evening, chaps, he says. Zoe Connor, evening, Mike and everybody, of course, because we were all in a bit earlier tonight to test the waters a bit differently. Colonel 85 says, "Evening all, hope you are well." Debbie Firth as well is in, saying evening. Bo is in tonight. Yes, his fellow compatriot is doing so well at the moment for us, which is great to see. Ads Taylor, evening to you, mate. He says, "Evening, guys. Bring on Huddersfield. Good luck to Ben with his international call-up, which we'll come to in a minute. And welcome back, Caleb Roberts. Yes, recalled from Truro due to the situations we'll touch upon in a minute. What else we got? Stephen Vaughan says, "Good evening." Was 150 away fans on Tuesday night for Stevenage. And what else we got? Houghton got a great reception. He did, and we did see his tweet, as I'm sure a few of you did, from his partner as well, his wife as well, to say thank you for that. And from him, Nicholas G is in as well. "Evening, gents," he says. Colonel says, I love the fact that he has Argyle in his profile, not Stevenage. Laughing out loud. That's I've not noticed that. Andrew T is in as well. He says, we pay goal bonuses, they pay header bonuses in relation to Stevenage. Yeah, I think Mitchell did comment on that in his post-match amongst other entertaining thoughts he shared after the game. VW Coco's in as well. Good evening. No Wiradoo for 4 weeks. No, that's correct. Robert straight into the team on Saturday. We shall come to that in a second. Who else are we adding? Peter Hemwood says, how are Stevenage so high up in the league? Unbelievable. I think, Peter, that just shows the sort of league it is. They're not brilliant, but they've managed to stay up there. They've secured their spot. Can they try and keep within it? I think not, because we're coming for them and Reading for those last two spots. George King, the grumpy loyal, he says earlier in the chat. Let me see. Matt Montgomery's in as well. Said, had me going for the moment. Andy sounds like a man after my own heart with the dog enjoying nature. It's if you've got a dog, get out there and enjoy it. That's for sure. Stevie Vaughan, 3 big games this week. End Luton versus Stockport, Argyle versus Huddersfield, and Stevenage versus Reading. Yeah, God, how interesting could it be? Who else we got? Peter Fox says, Ryan Hardy and Mumba derby on Saturday. Well, as you just heard, maybe not. For Hardy, and I don't know how often Mumba is being picked. Hardy did score their first goal on Tuesday night, but they did let in a late equaliser, which is seeing Lincoln storm away with Cardiff losing to Wickham, sadly, which kept them above us. Spicy Wedges is in. Evening, lads. Just finished work. Nice 11-hour shift after 5 days off. So the wedges not very spicy at the mo. Let me just see what else we got in. Finley, Argyle News Hub. Evening, everybody. Great win by Argyle on Tuesday, and great for Bim for his Canada call-up. Bring on Saturday. Right. Oh, Brian is in as well from Boston, Massachusetts. Evening all, Tuesday's game was very scrappy, but come on, you Greens. An accidental pilgrim is a question for all of us. Which one of us is going to be in midfield on Saturday? God, yeah, that's definitely not me being Edwards. I mean, Joe Edwards.
Gavin said the last time we needed a pulse or something like
that. Oh God, hence why Roberts has been recalled, which we'll come to in a minute. Bo also says, I still struggle to see what Amici offers to the game. Maybe I have too big expectations towards him after he got the number 10 shirt. Let's just say I was equally not impressed again on Tuesday night with his performance. Marie Kelly, evening. She said, good evening from County Donegal in Ireland. So evening to you. Good. We're getting more people spread far and wide. I'm going to read out a couple more because I'm near the bottom. Whitey Brook says, was there offside goal really onside?
Touch and go, I thought it was on.
I haven't seen it.
No, he wasn't. He ran from his own hat. No, that wasn't. That? I can't remember.
On Tuesday night, they had the ball at the back of the net, didn't they? But it was
it was offside.
Yeah.
Watch the spend the £1 a week. Right?
I might be on the.
Watch the analyst show. He's 3-4 yards offside when the ball's played in. He comes back and then he scores, so he's offside.
Yeah. So in the highlights, to be fair, the highlights which I'll play next are pretty short from Sky's usual standard. So let me run those quickly for you now. 1 minute and 30 seconds worth of the highlights. Come on, ref!
That reminds me.
Yeah.
He's got a very good left foot. How he didn't score here, I don't know.
Yeah. I felt Hazard did well to come out. I wasn't sure if he was going to come out, but it was an awful miss.
Hazard did well to stay on his feet as long as he did.
He hit the corner flag.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
He did so well. And as he said recently, he's been working on his assists. Here we go. Now, what I like about this is they were, I can't remember what player it was, but it was all over Mitchell at every free kick or corner in the lead up to that, and it was quite poor. And I think it just allowed Ross just to be free to go and do his thing and score.
Should have scored there. Oh, he should have scored there.
Really close.
Mackenzie's left foot. Look at that. Let him block it.
He's getting better and better as he gets regular
Mackenzie
minutes.
needs more praise in my opinion. He was outstanding.
That was the bit where it cut off. Let's get Cleverly's post-match, and I'll drop it straight to Mitchell's afterwards as well.
Yaffa, feels like a huge win from my side. How does it feel for you?
Yeah, I've been seeing some of the results this evening. It's important that we didn't lose any ground. And yeah, we've gained 3 points on Stevenage, a couple on Huddersfield, but more importantly, we've kept our momentum. And yeah, I thought we were a little bit flat and not as clean and crisp as we can be first half, and we improved that second half. I thought we took the initiative in the game, got a lot more field position because of our better play, which led to a lot of set plays, and ultimately set plays have led to goals for us this season. So really pleased with the second half. It feels like we're getting into a groove here where even if we don't perform as well as we can do in the first half.
Yeah, I think my video cut off.
Alex,
Sorry, that wasn't
big
my
3
bad.
points. How's your head after that? Because I think you probably headed the ball more than anyone else has this season in that game.
Yeah, I've cut a few years off my life. To be honest, I headed the ball off the pitch more than on the pitch today. But it's they make it difficult. We're saying in the change room they play for territory and they're giving you free headers, but then nudging you. So then it's not a clean header. So it's frustrating and it kills time. So they're very good at that. But I thought we dealt with it well. I thought Mateus next to me was outstanding. I thought the best I've told him, best I've seen him. Sorry. And yeah, so it's a great 3 points because we had to back it up against Reading, because I thought we said it, Reading would be a great point if we win tonight. And I think before the game we were 3 points off playoffs, now we're 2 points off playoffs, and we've got to play Bradford, we've got to play Huddersfield, we've got to play Bolton, and it's teams you want to play. And then I think we've got quite a, I won't be disrespectful, but a nice run in where I think it's in our hands.
Alex, big 3.
The fuller clip of that, as it was shared with us in our group, and Gavin, he was also in the hospitality, wasn't he, as well? I mean, there's one bit where he just ribs a little bit of Pato, who was chirping in the background of that outdoor interview, and he's going, "Oh, he's all loud now because he started a game." But yeah, give us a bit of an insight, Gavin, to what else he said in hospitality, because you were telling us it was very entertaining.
He was man of the match, wasn't he? Was he man of the match on Tuesday?
No, it was Ross who was man of the match.
Ross was man of the match on Tuesday. Yeah, Ross was fine. Mitchell was man of the game before, where he said, "I've got a table booked at the steak and omelette at 6 o'clock. Gaz, can you hurry up?" Which was eventful. That was the Doncaster game, I think. But he is a character. He is going to get himself in trouble at the minute because he's pushing the boundaries further and further every single time he gets put under the microphone. But I much prefer when McNichol. McNichol. Thank you. I said McElhenney then. Rob McNichol interviews him, because I think Rob plays deadpan and lets him run as long as he wants to on the lead. Whereas I think Charlie Price is a little bit more savvy and he's I think a bit more risk adverse, and he tries to rein him back in. But Rob McNichol does a brilliant job of just answering him a question, and then it's like letting the fishing line, letting the hook off. Zzz, the fish goes miles away, and you're like, keep going, you'll get tired in a minute. He's brilliant. He's such a breath of fresh air. And he makes my evening every time I see him in front of the mic. But he absolutely slated deadpan as well. He said, turned around and went, "Yeah, Pat was chirpy tonight. It's the first time he started." Just goes to show the culture and the mood in the dressing room, that they can just rip each other like that. Deadpan, no dramas. So yeah, it's good. It's all very good.
Yeah, it's good. As Edward said in his presser, it's clear that you can tell who the characters are, and he said that definitely helps in the dressing room at the moment. Harold has joined us back in after missing a few shows. The Harmer, he says, "Good evening. Been away for a few weeks. Very pleased to see Argyle pressing for a playoff spot. 5th or 6th should be possible. Come on, you Greens, he says. Ads Taylor also saying, Harvey, England predicted the score again. Yeah, he's on a little run at the moment. On Tuesday, he says, get on your Jana. I did get Ross right. And I just feel at home, we were doing our score predictions earlier, and I'm just like, I'll give the odd striker a shout, but I think it's going to be Mitchell or Ross. Just those set pieces, and I think that's why Curtis is like wanting to get a goal. He's like, hang on a minute, guys, I've dished all these out, I've got to get something back here. But if you do, on that note, want to join our WhatsApp group, it is a closed group, so it's invite only. Then give us a shout in one of our DMs, and we'll bring you in. There's quite a few of us in there now, and obviously we pick up on anything and everything Argyle, as well as general football. Speaking of the pass from to Boateng and that on Tuesday night, I saw the Barcelona Newcastle highlights, and I don't watch those sort of the European teams at all, but oh my lord, the passing was just, and the movement was just ridiculous from Barcelona. What were you cheering for, Gab?
Because I've just seen what Pilgrim Pete's just said. Argyle have just tweeted that it's really unfortunate that Brendan Galloway's been
hang on. Breaking news. Over to you, Gavin.
He's been called up to Zimbabwe, which we're all very sad about. And now we have to postpone Bradford and let all our good players come back. That's such a shame. I'm genuinely
on a roll, Gav, as well.
I wanted to take the under-16s up to Bradford and spank them. Now we're going to have to wait, aren't we, and actually take our first team up. Never mind. So well done, Brendan, for getting fully fit and conning the management of Zimbabwe that you need to be playing. Good lad.
It's Bradford who are on 65 points in fourth, which you would say, they're probably going to be safe, but let's see what the weekend brings. Yeah. But how massive and when? The only negative on that is the rearranged game is clearly going to be a Tuesday. I'm assuming it wasn't a Tuesday, as it was. That's the only negative.
Can I say now, though, that every fan that was going to go to Bradford, get yourself to Loftus Road, because the girls are playing in the final on the same day, in the cup final. And now if we can go more banded with a couple of thousand, then even more, then that'll be fantastic. Because I think the girls were really upset the fact that because Bournemouth are in the Premier League and it's an international break, they didn't really care about us. So it was like, we'll play out the Saturday because no one's got a game. We did. Now we don't. Maybe we can take a few fans up. Especially the London branch, I'm sure
the London branch will fill out, won't they?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, why don't we segue nicely then into the press conference. So that breaking news, if you just joined us, welcome. Get your thoughts and share what's on your mind for all things Argyle in the chat. But yes, Brendan Galloway has been called up, which means that the Bradford away game will be rescheduled. And it'll be interesting when it gets to that game, what the situation is like in the league. Andrew T saying, cleverly said Zimbabwe have been in contact. We got hold of Zimbabwe.
Bullshit. We got hold of him. I reckon Derek was sending a telegram or Morse code. Dap, 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 dip, dip, dip. Brendan's here. He'd love to come and have a little chat.
To be honest, Gav, I think he probably just picked up the phone. But
no, have you been to Zimbabwe?
No,
it's a third world country, mate. They don't have telephones yet. They certainly don't have mobiles.
I didn't necessarily say mobiles, but anyway, Deepak saying hi, guys. I'm here. What are you guys exploring about? Deepak, we're talking about Plymouth Argyle, our football club, our local football club here in England in the southwest, and how we are going to absolutely get that playoff spot. It just depends on which place in the playoffs we decide that we want. Anyway, so moving on to the presser. Thank you for joining us anyway. So let me get the slide up. Come on, restream. Got to be faster than that. TC on Huddersfield today said they've got a lot of quality. We know a couple of them fairly well. Liam Manning has tightened them up at the back. We'll have to be focused, intense and structured and impose ourselves on the game. He went on to say it's clearly substance over style. At this stage of the season, we were excellent at Reading. But if you'd have asked me if I'd have preferred that performance and a draw or the scrappier performance against Stevenage and the win, I would rather win. That's fairly obvious, but absolutely. On team news, and it's the all-important one, it will be a late decision on Laurent Talai tomorrow, as it will Caleb Watts and Wes Harding. Oh, God, dearie me. And Wes Harding. He said, but the bad news, now, everybody remember, Herbie Kane cannot play because obviously Huddersfield is his parent club. So on Brendan Wiredu, even though he came back on Tuesday night, they have made the decision as a club to send him for his surgery. It's a persistent abdominal issue and he is in too much pain to perform. He will be out for 4 weeks. As a result, we are set to recall Caleb Watts from his loan spell. Roberts, sorry, thank you, Andy. We'll come on to that as well because we think he'll throw straight in. But TC also said we've got 8 cup finals left. The ones where you can make the other teams around us lose points. There's an extra motivation. Every game has a real high reward on them. We are looking forward to those big games. And also from the player representation today was Joe Edwards. He says the mood is really good. The boys are all enjoying the run we are on. We are all coming together and relishing the challenge in front of us. We've got a few good characters who I am sure you've seen along the way. And obviously we were talking about Mitchell just now. He said on our turnaround, I think we knew we were capable of it. The start of the season was the opposite of what we wanted. The resilience and togetherness we have shown has been really positive. He also went on to say, on comparisons to the 22-23 league winning season, he said, every team is different, but I always feel like success I've had in my career is on the back of a good team spirit. Especially in these last few months, we've had that in abundance. We've got a very different team to that one, but if you can get a team that you are all doing their jobs and performing to the best of their capabilities, you give yourselves a right chance. On Saturday, he said, we knew coming into the block of games that it would be a massive game. At this stage of the season, that's a good thing. It's about worrying about ourselves. If we perform to the best of our capabilities, we'll come out on top. Just a few other snippets as I've got an image that Carl lovingly hand drew and painted and put up on the channel earlier. Bim Pepel being called up for his first international duty and very much deserved. I think he's going to be smiling even more than he does on that face of his when he plays on the 28th of March, 5 p.m. kickoff, and also on Wednesday, the 1st of April in a 12 a.m. kickoff. So that's a nice early one if you want to get up for that. It'll be great to see if he gets a start or gets featured. And why not with the effort that he's put in recently. Also, as click to the next one, as it's now confirmed, putting up Finley's PAFC News Hub post. So give him a follow on your relevant channel, please, for all your Argyle news. So yes, we've now had it confirmed by the club in the last 10 minutes that Galloway has been called up. A few handshakes and a few quid gone exchanging hands there to make sure then that the Bradford game is then postponed. Of course, I'm not suggesting there was anything untoward, just to cover myself for legal reasons. But yes, that is good news. With obviously the situations we've got, we don't want to be losing any more players unnecessary and not to injury. Also, speaking of international call-ups, come on, next slide. Freddie Azaka has been called up to the Wales under-21 squad again for 2 up-and-coming Euro 2027 qualifiers. And I think a bit like Roberts, he's been getting some game time and scoring some goals down the road. So that's good for him to see some minutes. I do have this image. I'll bring it up now that Carl did as well. Again, his artwork is just outstanding. But yes, our great Dane. What another performance. And I'm going to just sort of carry on with Ross very briefly. But on that Tuesday night, where, again, in recent games, Andy, I'll come to you. He's just been phenomenal, where he had a little bit, as he's admitted himself, a difficult adjustment to English football. Just everybody remember, we got him for absolutely nothing.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, Bo Sundrup came in on one of our shows early on in the season and told us what sort of player he was. We're seeing the benefits of that now, aren't we? he's a cracking player. He's up there, and we're in the mix there as well when it comes to corners and getting vital goals for us as well. So yeah, he's a tower of strength at the back as well. Great player to have in the team.
Yeah, he's going to come on and end the season on a high. So Gavin, anything else for you to say as well on Ross?
I'll just echo what Aaron was. I had a bit of a conversation with Aaron on Twitter in the week. The fact, when he first arrived, you could see he was like a proper footballer. His passing range and everything was great, but he needed a bit of bud and thud. He got a bit of bud and thud, but what's really impressive now, and Aaron made a really good point on the analyst show on whether it was Monday or Wednesday, was now he's performing in both boxes. Mm-hmm. His stock and his value is going to go through the roof, because if you can get a footballing centre half who can mix it up with big physical centre halves and got the knack of scoring 5 to 10 goals a season from set pieces, he's going to be watched considerably by leagues above, because he can play there, in my opinion. His speed's good as well. He's got very good pace. So, that was. I know our recruitment team over the summer took an absolute hiding, but they've got probably Bim Peppel and this guy right, although you could say with a massive degree of hindsight, because they've both developed under the current coaching squad. But he's definitely one I hope we retain for at least one more season before we probably release him into the wild of wherever for a lot of money. Yeah,
no, definitely. And no, Bo's in listening tonight, as you can see there. I think as we get towards I still haven't confirmed up plans for the end of the season, and certainly we will this season do an end of season show. But looking to get actually Aaron Cusack, as Gavin just mentioned there, on. I do chat with him regularly on just some of the performances, and we're going to look at tying up a date to get him on, which I think will be brilliant for someone of that caliber and that knowledge to come on and digest this season that we've had. And when he's doing it, we could well be securing our playoff spot. So, Bo, we'll look to definitely get you on for a segment as well to talk about Ross's first season with us. But, great bit of business, that, and Talai as well, when you consider how bad it was all looking not that long ago. I'll read out a few other comments. Andy the Green, evening to you. He says, given his big game and European experience, high valuation. Well, there was obviously questions on, will he get called up potentially as well? Well, if he carries on like that, then maybe he might get his chance at international. Accidental Pilgrim saying maybe the fact that Tolly will have 2 more weeks off after Saturday might prompt his selection. I think Cleverly did say, as you heard me read out there, that it will be touch and go on him. If anything, I think it will probably be a sub if we do need him. But if we can hold him off and not need him and can secure or lock that game out early enough, then yes, it would be great just to give him, and not just another 2 weeks, but a bit more real kickstart in the training ground to get him up to speed. Matt Montgomery, I wonder if Aseni should start instead of Peppel and have Bim on the bench. He has played loads of minutes late running the line. Nick, that was something I wanted to bring up about Tuesday, is he did look a little bit heavy-legged on Tuesday night, I felt, or a few of us around us felt the same.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think a lot of people by me said that as well. He's played a lot of minutes. He's had to. I mean, we've had no one there to. Yeah, exactly. He's had no choice. He's had to. I mean, there's no one there to take up the reins if he's off the field. I think we've seen in games where he has come off late, because when the game's done, we've pulled him off to try and save him as much as we can. But yeah, I would agree. It's not a bad shout to give Aseni a run out for 60 minutes and maybe bring Bim or Tolly on the bench, off a bench later on in the game, possibly. It's definitely.
Nick, why do you think Aseni is not getting, like, even from the subs perspective, considering that Pepper is on his own up front? What do you think it is that he's not being chosen to partner either at the start or even come on as an early sub?
It's a tough one, isn't it? He's not really kicked on, is he? I mean, he had that little spell before he got injured where him, Pepper, and Tolly were all firing, all between them. They were coming off the bench.
Tolly was off, wasn't he? He was suspended that when he got his chance. Yeah.
This is it. And, he had that injury, he had that knock. And since then, you've had Pepper who's kicked on and found another gear and started knocking the goals in. And to be fair, he's been. You can't take him out of the team when he's doing that. But Aseni obviously hasn't kicked on as much as we'd have hoped. I mean, at the start of the season, TC did say that he was brought in as a long-term project. He said at the time as well that he was also behind Bim in the same sort of boat. So he said obviously Bim's a bit further down the road in his career than what Aseni was. So I'm not too concerned at the moment that we haven't seen the same level of output from Aseni as we have done as from Bim. I think there is a player in there. We've seen that from the games like at Doncaster, for example, where I think he got two assists and a goal. Yeah. I mean, so there's definitely a player in there. I just think he needs an opportunity, he needs a chance to have, should be able to show that. And at the moment, when you've got Bim firing like he is and been playing as well as he is, and Tolly obviously, we all know the damage that Tolly can do when he's got the ball. It's hard to get him in, isn't it? But yeah, I just think he needs to keep his head down, keep working hard. Because like I say, there's no, by all accounts, there's no bad eggs in training. Everyone's, pulling their weight and pulling in the right direction. And eventually he'll get his chance. He just needs to take it when it comes.
Yeah. No, well, let's see if he does. I think he will start Saturday. He's not going to want to turn it down, and he's going to be excited and buzzing, which will probably give him a bit of extra ounce of energy for his international duty. So it's time to move on to the Huddersfield game on Saturday. Yeah. So if I just do a little bit on where they've been, as I always look at the last 5 games on FOTMob. So Huddersfield have won 2, lost 1 and drawn 2. Their most recent last 2 games were a draw, a win, a loss and a win. So started a little bit with only getting a point from the last 2 games, which is, sort of dragged them slightly out. As I see Michael Hawks has joined us now in the chat. He wasn't sure if he was going to make it or not, but obviously Reading jumped them for that 6th spot, the last spot in the playoffs. The sort of, although it was against Lincoln on Tuesday night, Gav, they still went, I think, 1 up. Well, I didn't think they did go 1 up, 2. I don't know if it was 2-0 or 2-1. I think it was 1-1 and 2-1. And then obviously they let in a late goal against Lincoln, who were just flying. It's the pressure's going to be more on them, isn't it? Because they've invested a lot of money in Mumba, and he hasn't really shown for them. And then obviously Hardy's come in. He got a goal on Tuesday, but he's possibly not going to make the game on Saturday. We shall see. I think the edge is more with us, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, I can't remember who said it in the week, whether it was one of the players on interview, but if you've been in that top 6, 7 or 8 for most of the season, and then you have a wobble now and drop out, the fans are properly pissing the bed, which is great. And we've got no expectations. I think if we finished 7th or 8th, we would be disappointed we weren't in the playoffs, but we'd all be saying, wow, what a ride that was. On that basis, and if you just look at some of the players, and they signed in the summer, Linden, Gooch from Stoke. They signed, what's your man up front? The Alfie May from Birmingham. They've obviously now they've got Hardy. Don't forget Mickey Love from us, which is everyone's forgotten this week that 3 ex-players coming to Home Park on Saturday potentially. So they've got a really good quality large squad, a bit like Bolton actually. They play some good stuff, but and I actually thought they were very unlucky looking at the extended highlights on from them and Lincoln on Saturday, but Lincoln were just a bit too physical, I think, towards the end, and they ran out a bit of steam. They walloped us up there, didn't they? We were embarrassing, let's be honest. It was awful. So there's a bit of retribution in the a bit Cardiff-esque actually, and I think it'll be a Cardiff-esque game rather than a disgusting game of National League football like it was against Stevenage, which would be nice for the fans anyway, if nothing else. But yeah, I don't talk about wetting beds, Gav. It's been a while. Argyle 83. I've had to produce that or to publicise the stock somehow. But yeah, I think they play good stuff. They play with wing backs normally and get wide. Although I think, as TT said, they've been solidified at the back, but that's cost them going forward a little bit. And I think there are a lot of fans a bit teasy reading some of their articles after the weekend saying, basically, we've become quite boring as a side, and that we need to be go back to sort of scoring freely and all that good stuff, which is fine. But I honestly think their fans are putting a lot of pressure on them at the minute to do better. They've been, I think they've been third, haven't they, in the season earlier, fourth, and they've dropped down. So if they finish outside that top six, there's going to be people vying for blood, I think. Whereas with us, it's every game's a free play. Yes, it's a cup final, as TC said, but our expectation levels are far lower than theirs at the moment, and rightfully so.
Yeah, I mean, it's Huddersfield that have got the billionaire owner, right? Have I got that right? Yeah. So, I mean, Nick, it's one of those where you have got the three lads coming down who will feature. You know, it's one of those where as a manager, will Manning be thinking, you know, well, look, you know, it's that we've seen other ex-Argyle players score against their old club. You know, do we play them? But you know, Mumba is probably, you know, sort of financially the best bit of business that we did in January. All respect to him and congratulations to him and his partner as well on the baby announcement. But he hasn't settled there, is he? And the crowd's been getting on his back. Like Gavin said, overall the crowd are getting frustrated there. I suppose we're in this situation where we know Simon Hallett wants to sell the club on and find the right investor, and they're there with a billionaire investor, and they're not happy either. It's going to be interesting, but although it will be a close game, seeing the comments, Michael Hawke saying that, it's the pressure is just more on them, and I think it's us. And even with our injuries, that's going to just, I think, benefit us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it might have even been TC himself that said it. I mean, the pressure at the moment is on teams that are up there and the teams that have been there. We're not under pressure. Our lads aren't under pressure. They've not been in that situation this season to lose anything. We've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, and we're in form and on the up. So yeah, there's absolutely no pressure. I don't feel there's any pressure on our lads. But like you say, with Huddersfield having, you know, that fan base, I mean, it wasn't that long ago they were a Premier League football club.
Yeah.
So their fan base are going to want them to bounce back into that championship as soon as possible. And when they're spending £1 million in January on fullbacks who they expect to hit the ground running and don't, the fans are going to be on there. You know, the fans are going to be up in arms a little bit. It's to be sod's law though that this would be the game where he turns up and actually as an absolute blinder in, you know, puts one in the top corner from 30 yards or something like that. It wouldn't surprise me at all, because that seems to be how it goes with players scoring.
He's being marked by Joe Edwards on Saturday if he plays left wing back. I imagine Joe's had him in his back pocket many.
I imagine he probably has. Yeah, imagine he probably has. But in a one-off game. I mean,
I'd be more worried if he was playing on the right-hand side than he is the left, because Joe would have trained with him for hundreds.
Knows what he's going to do.
Yeah, whereas Mackenzie, he'll be like, "Oh, who's this?" I mean, he'll be told, but he's not experienced it. So I don't imagine. I'm hazarding a guess when Mumba puts his head on his pillow at the Crown Plaza on Friday night or wherever they stay, he'll be thinking more about Joe Edwards than Joe Edwards will be thinking about him.
Yeah, it most definitely is advantage Joe Edwards, I would say, in that situation, definitely.
If you sorry, Nick, Chicken's podcasts are in. It's a Bradford podcast. Obviously, few minutes they've said it's bullshit that the game versus Bradford has been cancelled.
Have some internationals, boys, and then you get the time off yourselves.
Hang on a second. I got something here. Is a tissue for you. No, all jokes aside. Yeah, look, but whether or not could help you having a bit more time to rest up some players. I don't know what your situation's like.
Tyreek Wright needs another week of rest after his goal, so that'll be all good for them.
Yeah, but from our point of view of a depleted squad, as I'm sure you are probably well aware, then it's an ideal situation for us. And if you want to get on to the show, and likewise for the preview of that one when it gets rescheduled, let us know, and I'm sure we'll accommodate, and maybe one of the guys, if not myself, can join yours. But thank you for dropping in and sharing with us your frustrations. So, Andy, I mean, looking at Huddersfield, there's one player there that sort of always concerns me, and it's Marcus Harness. Obviously, when he was at Ipswich, as I know all too well with my dad, and obviously he did well against us in the champ, and yeah, he can be a threat. He's their top assist. He's not quite a Ronan Curtis, mind, but he's there on 6. And he's one of those that tends to cause us a few problems when we face him.
Oh, he's always caused us problems. He's a good player, to be fair. Hopefully, we can keep him. We can get sort of Ross and Mitchell on him, keep him in the pocket, sort of thing. It's the same thing with Huddersfield. They've always brought in good players, haven't they? They did it last season. They brought these 2 strikers in, and they hardly scored anything between them. So it's understandable why the fans get upset as well. But yeah, Harness, he's another one of those who could probably damage us if he gets the right position.
Seems to always play well against us as well. Even when he was at Pompey, when he was at Pompey, he was superb against us.
Yeah, there as well. Yeah,
it was the same as Curtis, wasn't it? I mean, Curtis was at Pompey.
Was he there at the same time as Curtis? Will they know each other?
I think they were.
Yeah, one season. They have one season there, maybe.
I think they might have been. Yeah.
Steve Vaughan, if you're in the chat,
Stato. He actually, just looking, Mumba's their 3rd best player for assists on 5. Looking at
Mumba's got 5 assists since January.
Yeah, 5 assists. It's clearly there. Top assists, top scorers: Leo Castledine on 10, Bojan Radulovic on 7, and Alfie May on 5. Their top rated players are Murray Wallace on 7.38, Redinho Bolka 716, and Leo Castledine again on 712.
Wallace is their centre half, isn't he?
I'm just going to have a look at their squad. Centre back, left back.
Okay. Right. Okay.
So it's going to be interesting. I mean, Andy, sort of anything that you particularly, we're going to come to the lineups in a second, but anything that you're, sort of feeling towards in that game that you think could be pivotal on Saturday?
I just think missing Herbie Kane. I know Herbie can't play because it's a parent club, but the fact that we're sort of struggling to find someone to stand along Boateng, who's been brilliant with creative players around him, and we've seen him venture forward and create stuff in the opposition box. And I just think whoever comes into that position and plays alongside him, will they give him enough freedom to go ahead forward? If that's Belarus, it may be the case, but we don't know yet. So hopefully we can see the best of him and just keep that tight in the midfield as well. I think the defence is going to be fine. But yeah, midfield is going to be our position, isn't it? Which is going to pose problems.
Yep, I just pet Pilgrim Pete. Evening to you, mate. Good to see you back in. The bedwetting in Bradford is like a tsunami tonight. So I think it will be interesting with their next game as well, whether or not they who is it that's actually, is it Reading that are playing them, or have I got that wrong? Who are they up against? Burton. Oh, it's Burton they've got on Saturday. So
team Burton.
Yeah, so that could be the Burton on the back of a defeat, a win, and a defeat in the last 3 games. That could be an interesting one. And I'm sure if they lose that, they'll be even more furious. I can't see them still in the comments. I'm guessing they came in and exited pretty quick. But if you're still there, let us know. Rambo's nose, though, is certainly in. There's no bleeding or running of that. He says, Liam Manning said today that Hardy had a knock and some stiffness. I reckon he'll feature on Saturday. Yeah, even if not as a sub. Mike, Stevenage, who they've got, and that's going to be equally interesting to see what happens in that game. Herbie Kane, as Andy, said, I'm going to come to Gavin's lineup now, is obviously not able to play because of his parent club. Now, before we've seen the situation of Edwards coming into the middle and all that with the recent injuries when Herbie has been missed, and obviously Rawls is season out, and it's not been pretty. But I think with the recall of Caleb Roberts is certainly going to be a statement. There's a lot of sort of thoughts. I mean, I'm sure, Gavin, because you normally do listen to the full presser, he's not in your side from what I can see there. No. Did you get that feeling from the press conference that there's a chance that he might throw him straight into the mixer?
I'm not saying that this is the team that TC will pick, but this is the team I would pick. This should be about pressing on Saturday, so tactically, which is why 4-1-4-1, because I think Curtis and Dale can help Peppel to really press their back three, who they've been caught out, from what I understand, a few times on the counter and on the transition this year. If Peppel can just find another 90 minutes and someone can give him a proper rub down today, tomorrow, and Saturday morning, not in that way. Get your mind out the gutter. And he can pounce off and lead that press like he has done many weeks, even for 60 minutes. And, let's all touch wood and pray to the football gods that Talai's fit and he can come on and do that last half an hour. I think we'll be in it. So my team, for those who are listening, I listened back to ours actually the other day, coming back from Reading. It was quite interesting. I haven't listened to our pod for years. So Hazard in goal, obviously, although he's got to sort his distribution out. I was not very impressed on Tuesday night. It was awful again. I was going to say dog shit, but awful's better. Edwards at right back, Ross and Mitchell in the centre, and Mackenzie at left back. I think that's now cemented in for the rest of the year. We will probably, though, have Wes Harding back, and we've got Galloway back. So we've got two really good... I'm in the gutter.
Well, Wes was got a doubt, though, wasn't he?
No, from what he said on Tuesday, Wes was the more likely of the three,
right? Okay,
to be in the squad, but I don't think he's ready to start, which is why I think they've said we need to call Caleb Roberts back because we can't start him and bring Edwards into the midfield. So that's fine. So that's the back four. A pivot of Boateng. I don't like him there. It would much prefer to be Herbie Kane, but we haven't got Herbie Kane, so we have to live with what we got for this game. And then a midfield four of Curtis on the right, Benarous, which will surprise many, and I've already had some people slating me, which is lovely, and Patterson in the middle, and Dale on the left, and then Peppel on his own up top. So I'll explain my rationale. Benarous is a very good tactician with the ball. He's a good passer. He's got great technical ability. He's got a massive point to prove because, unfortunately, TC decided that he was the one surplus to requirements when we had a big squad and he had to be deregistered and then re-registered. And I think the redemption arc of him coming in on Saturday and playing out his skin and becoming the sort of backup Herbie Kane for the rest of the year, for me, would just be an absolute delight because I think from what I've seen him speak, he's a really good lad and he must have a really solid temperament because a lot of people would have lost their shit being deregistered and re-registered, but it sounds like he's really, really trained hard and got his self back into some kind of contention. I think he'll play Caleb Watts, but I would play this. Patterson is another one, a bit like Mackenzie when he first came back. A bit like Dale when he first came back, needs a run of games because actually you're starting to see now some really good touches from Patterson, and the tackle he put in our box for that last move of the game and that pass forward, the 96th minute or whatever was at Reading was like, oh, and he does stick his foot in where it hurts. Yeah. And I heard that boom from boot to ball from where I was in row whatever it was. But it was a real third and third. I think Patterson, he's played most of his career in the Championship, either for Cov or for Swansea. So for me, he's a good footballer. He's not lost his legs. He was still getting up and back, and I think we need to give him a bit of a run now. Whether that will happen when both Peppel and Talai are both fit again, I don't know, because they'll probably just go back to 4-4-2 and play the two guys who can score. But that's a by the by. But for this weekend, because we have lots and lots of threadbare injured players, I would go 4-1-4-1, and that would be the team I would pick.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. We got Carl's, and Gavin did listen to Carl's synopsis on his selection, but I'm laughing at Voodoo after the comment made that TC made a mistake deregistering Belarus. Voodoo said, I don't like the suggestion TC made a mistake deregistering Belarus. The Supreme Leader doesn't make mistakes, referring to Derek Adams. For those of you that don't know Voodoo from anywhere else. And I hope that ankle must be surely Voodoo cleared up by now, just in time for really celebrating this playoff push. I'll go to Carl's now, because then we can talk about the differences. So, Gavin, if you wouldn't mind giving us his lineup and what he said in his voice note.
So his lineup: Hazard in goal, Edwards, Ross, Mitchell, McKenzie in the back four, as per. He's gone for a 4-2. Well, no, he's gone for a 4-4-2 actually, but he's got two holding midfielders of Boateng and Roberts, Curtis on the right, Dale on the left, and he's playing Peppel and Patterson up top in a two-striker role, which I don't think Patterson's strong enough to play up there, but that's just my personal opinion. His chat was essentially Roberts has been brought back to play, and he's done well when he's played against Brentford and Leeds and et cetera, in the past, so he deserves to be there. He's had 5-6 games, I think, on the bounce now for Truro, so he'll be match fit, which is another good reason probably to bring him in and over Belarus, who's not had any 90 minutes for a while. So I understand and get that. And he's playing Patterson off. I think Patterson and Pebble isn't a very good fit. I think if you're going to play two up front, you play a Senny. But that's just my personal opinion.
Do you think he might just be sat, obviously, behind Pepple and just there to sort of possibly lay it off, to him? He's a good passer of the ball, Patterson.
I think that's why if he plays, if that is the lineup, which it may well be, I think he'll play 4-2-3-1, and Patterson will sit behind Pepple, and Dale and Curtis will sit alongside him. That's my guess. As Andrews just said, Patter was a 10, which is fine, and I liked Patterson as a 10. When I first saw him picked, I had a bit of a grimace. But actually, you forget how good he is because he's barely started a game of football for us, which is quite sad, really, for a guy of his pedigree.
I think interestingly, Gav, as well, when you look at the likes of Dale, Patterson, obviously Dale's had a few more games. Roberts maybe could start straight away. I'm just going to move back to this screen. And obviously then you've got Belarus as well. Come on, restream. With the fact that the playoffs are in sight, there's that exciting opportunity to sort of be involved in the squad that, I'm going to say could, but will get Argyle into that playoff spot. And, the buzz of that and the potential what that could lead to, you're going to want to be part of that, aren't you? So, whereas I think if we were more sort of stable, it's like, oh, well, we're not in for a shout anymore. You almost, I don't mean this disrespectfully to suggest that any player would, but it's almost like the season's almost done. But whereas there's a chance to really actually become a part of an incredible turn of fortunes for this season.
Is that to me?
Yeah, carrying on. Yeah, whoever wants to listen.
So, I agree. And I think Pato's a big-time player, so he'll love the fact that another promotion on his CV from League One to the Champ, if that is the case. He's every time he's been interviewed at Club Argyle, he actually comes across as a thoroughly good guy, I have to say. Cares a lot about his job, the club. Don't think he's had the best of runs down here, and I don't think Plymouth's probably suiting his lifestyle very much from what I've sort of understood from behind the scenes. But he's a quality footballer, and he's had two very good long-range shots, which have just narrowly missed a goal. I think the more he plays, the better he'll become, a bit like Dale was. And Dale went on that run, didn't he, from Exeter onwards, when he got annihilated up there and was brilliant, and then got a knock again. And now he's getting back to his best. There's two guys there, similar-ish age, similar-ish experience, who both give a monkeys about what's going on. I think their professional pride for themselves is paramount, and I think that's what's getting a lot of them through. And for Dale to be an Oxford loney, giving a shit that much for a last 97th minute opportunity at Reading says it all. So, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, no,
good stuff.
Yeah, go on, Andy.
No, I was just going to say I totally agree with that, Gav. He's an unsung hero, isn't he? And some of the crosses he put on at the weekend were fantastic. And certainly, Tuesday night. fantastic. There's one that went right across the box there. It just needed a touch on it, didn't it? It's just, he's got that about him.
Yeah, and as Pilgrim Petey just said there, some absolute monster games, on Saturday across the league, and and also coming up, even with the delayed game with Bradford, there's just these sort of players of that experience, and some of the young ones like Mitchell as well with his ability and leadership. It's just everything's touch wood because we don't want any more issues. Everything is gelling at the right time, and it really was the Reading game that sort of just, said to me when I was commentating on it with Carl, and it was just like not at any point when we went behind, even after 3 minutes in the game, in the fashion that we went a goal behind, the heads didn't drop at all. And it's like, we've rarely seen that too much. There's normally a bit of a 10, 15-minute spell where we get a little bit, all at sea, and then we get back into it. But, that just says a huge amount. And these post-match interviews and everything, that you hear and read, yes, the injuries are frustrating, but I really do think we're going to go into that game on Saturday with our tails up. We just got to be street smart, obviously, but it's a chance for us to sort of say, well, yeah, we've got these injuries, but we're still going to come at you. Do you think, I'll come to you, Nick, on this one, Voodoo's saying obviously about maybe TC not being as much of a tactician in his press conferences with his injury updates as Derek Adams. I suppose we might find out on Saturday that Talai is perfectly fit and starts the game.
Possibly. If I was a manager, I don't think I would want to give too much away in terms of my team availability in a press conference.
No, correct.
So I would probably like to be quite cagey myself. But we have given a fair bit away in press conferences, I would say, this year, possibly. I don't know.
Just it's honest on it, just him being too honest in his nature.
Possibly. Question I could probably put to him at the sponsors lunch in a few weeks' time. But
yeah.
But yeah, maybe there could be something that there could be something in that. But like I say, me personally, I wouldn't want to give too much away at all. I'd like to keep my cards close to my chest and let the cards fall they do on a match day and let them deal with it. Because if they know we've got players out and they make changes to, they can then look and say, okay, we've got 24 hours, 48 hours to prepare for a team now that we have a more narrowed down view of what's going to happen. But again, is it mind games? Like you say, is Talai going to come out fit and firing and starting the game? And
well, they're not going to be time on the grass to adapt, are they? Because if they would have seen the press tactically at least 3 o'clock. They're travelling all day tomorrow, or a good chunk of it, so they'll have a team meeting to maybe adjust. I don't think that the analysts do so much analysis. Funny enough,
pre-work, yeah.
That I think they'll have Talai, Peppel, Seni. They'll have all those angles covered. So I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, they'll have the plans. They'll have the plans. But I do think there is that element of what is going to get drawn out on that Saturday. And I think when we obviously been without Talai for a few weeks now, when they know and we know how impactful the two of them up front can be from what previous games have shown and previous managers, opposition managers have said, it is one of those where you would just leave that little niggling doubt in there, and not give too much away. But it's it's.
at the same time, once it comes 3 o'clock, it's a game of football as well. It's 11 v 11, and you match up as you match up, and the outcome of the game will be determined by the 11 v 11, not necessarily.
There are so many players at this level that are world beaters one week and absolute cart horses the next. Matt Terranola this year, it's been up that he's had 11 out of 10, 4 out of 10 in the same week, and you're how have you managed to be like world beating on a Tuesday and you can barely kick a ball on a Saturday? So I think a lot of it at this level, maybe in the Champ a little bit less, and definitely not less in the Premier League, but players are so inconsistent. That's what
you've only got to look at our team. We get battered by Cardiff away, and then they come to home park and we batter them. That's
after a couple of weeks before getting battered by Lincoln, who are up there with them.
So it is up and down. I think TC's on a hiding to nothing, because if he plays his card close to his chest, everyone has literally pisses the bed come 6 o'clock on a Thursday night when the press conference comes out because the world's ending. Blah blah blah, and then you lied to us on Thursday. And if he's too honest, well, you're too bloody honest, aren't you? You're not cute enough. So I think he just says how it is, and that's it. And
my personal feeling is I'd rather not know. I mean, I can't affect what players are injured. I can't affect what the outcome of the starting 11 is going to be. That's only down to TC. He's the one that needs to know. Yeah. He's the one that's got to pick the 11. So for me, it's irrelevant what players are injured. And if he wants to say after the game, there was a selection issue with Caleb Watts, he's got a sore ankle, he's feeling it still, so he wasn't available for selection. Fair enough. But I don't need to know in a press conference on Thursday whether players are injured.
To be fair, he played that one very close to his chest last week, didn't he?
He did.
Because Caleb Watts did the club Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, that was just an example.
And then Saturday, boom. But yeah, I get you. I do get your point. Yeah. I think it's horses for courses, but there are so many scenarios now, and I think they go through every scenario. I don't really think it makes a job.
I agree with you. I agree completely.
I think if you take this into consideration, guys, right, the season we've had the spine of the team ripped out twice, right, and we still managed to get from 24th to a playoff position potentially. Fantastic.
And like I said earlier, actually, I have got where's it gone? It's here somewhere. There we go. I stole it from Fit. Not that it's hard to clip this, but I was going through Finley's PAFC News Hub Reels just to pick up on stuff tonight, and then downloaded this. But yeah, this is where the table's sat at the moment. So you can see Stockport there on 59, Argyle on 56. We have a 1 goal difference advantage to them. So it could be really, really interesting depending on how those other results go. Bradford are then 6 points further clear of Stockport on 65. Even Bolton, it only takes a couple of games to slip up in, and suddenly it's like, squeaky bum time, as they say. Lincoln ahead there comfortably.
Haven't Lincoln and Cardiff got to play nearly every team now in the top 6 apart from us because we played them? In which case, they have a big say on who finishes in the playoff.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it could be one of those that does. I'm just going to have a quick look. Actually, does have an impact. Let's just look at let's have a look at Lincoln City's fixtures coming forward. Rotherham, Donny, Wimbledon, Reading on the 6th of April, Leyton Orient, Stevenage on the 18th, and then Wickham on the 25th is what.
There's 3 teams in and around it.
Yeah, in that month. And then their final game is Port Vale. So, top versus bottom in the last game of the season. And then Cardiff's fixtures, bear with. Blackpool on the 21st, then Port Vale, Peterborough, Bolton on the 11th of April, Huddersfield on the 14th of April, Reading on the 18th. So that's a Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. And then Northampton after that. And
they are playing 2 or 3 around them, which is good.
Yeah, and their last game is Mansfield. It is interesting what's going on there. Bolton, Port Vale on Saturday, which, you're going to say they should obviously get a result there. Then it's Stevenage the following Saturday for Bolton at home. So that could be interesting. Then obviously they play us at Home Park on the 3rd. Stockport then on the 6th. Cardiff. So theirs is the interesting one. So they've got Stockport on the 6th, Cardiff away on the 11th, Huddersfield at home on the 18th, and Bradford at home on the 26th. So that's an interesting one. And Luton is their last game of the season. Let's just have a quick look at Bradford's running as well coming in. So they got Burton on Saturday, as we said. Then it was meant to be us. That would be rearranged. Northampton, Wickham could be interesting. Stevenage and on the 11th. Barnsley on the 18th. Bradford on the 25th. And their last game is Exeter on the May the 2nd. So, like you just said, Gavin, it's an interesting number of fixtures, and it can really still mix things up come the end of the season. Impressively so.
Yeah.
So, right, before we sign off, we're going to do a little bit. Gavin's going to give us a bit update on the ladies because Heather is at otherwise occupied tonight, so can't make it on. But she, of course, sends love to everybody. But goals or scores, I should say, for Saturday before we do that. So, Nick, what are you? And also, Stephen Cooper's pinned it in so many times, I haven't mentioned it yet, about Canada flags. Have you got anything up your sleeve for that?
We haven't got any Canada flags, no, but we do have a couple of Bin Pepper flags, which were designed by Passotti, because I believe Passotti sponsor him. So Passotti made a design, and they asked us to make it for them. So we did that, and we've got this big flag around the ground, which we've had out a few times. So we do have a couple of those on the shop. The shop will be outside the Devonport End on Saturday from about 11:30ish until 2:30. Come and take a look. The bucket hats, stickers, mini flags, posters, that kind of things, all on there. Pin badges, little badges. We're also doing a raffle at the moment as well, which we're trying to raise as much money as we can for future displays. Hopefully, something for the Exeter game. So you can buy entry into that as well. You will get an actual physical ticket. We'll just take your name, contact number, and we'll add it to an Excel spreadsheet that I've got on my laptop here. Draw for that is after the Bolton game, so if you're interested, you can either buy tickets on the website, so just www.pocdisplays.co.uk. Sorry, shameless plug, I know.
You're fine, mate.
And or you can get us a ticket, or you get some.
Have you done any flags for the women's final?
We haven't. No.
Oh, because I reckon there'll be more than a few now. Not travelling to Yorkshire, but travelling to West London instead.
Yeah, we haven't. We did. I mean, you've actually reminded me. I've lost. Life's got in the way. You actually I did speak to somebody about designing one and getting something made, and it's kind of gone on the back burner. So I will chase that up because I think we can get them pretty quickly if we were to do it. So leave that with me. I will take that away and have a look. Put me on the spot there. But yeah. Other than that, we're just trying to raise as much money as we can for the Exeter game to do something for that. Won't need to do much to beat what they did. Just
get a red hanky, and then you beat it. Even with snot in it, it would still look better. It'd be fine.
It wasn't great. I mean, our performance that night wasn't great. But their display was worse. So yeah, we've got a few ideas for that. We did have a really, really nice idea, but it just money and time was against us for it, so we're going to save it for next season, probably opening game next season. One of the young lads has designed it. So Jack, I think he's 14, one of our helpers, he's designed it. He's put a lot of time and effort into it, and we're going to try and look at making his little project for the first game of the season next year. So stand by and watch out for that one. But yeah, other than that,
so you're scoring Saturday after all that plugging left, right, and centre, which is fine.
Shameless. I'm sorry.
You crack on. You crack on. You deserve it.
What is your score prediction then for the weekend?
I hope Ryan Hardy doesn't play because I'm not emotionally ready to see him score at the Devonport End in a blue and white shirt.
Emotionally ready?
No, it's not going to happen. No.
I'm just not emotionally ready for it. So I'm going to say 2-0 to us.
Yeah, okay, 2-0. Andy, what are you going with?
Nick's just stole my thunder. I was going to say 2-0 to us as well. And I'm going to have Ross and Pepple scoring. There you go.
Yeah, fair enough. And Gavin, your score prediction?
He's going to say 2-0, isn't he?
I'm not. I'm
deliberately not.
I'm not as confident as the brethren. I think it'll be a high-scoring draw. I think it'll be 2-2. I hope I'm wrong, but they've just got a lot of quality. It depends on how we turn up. If we're really intense with the press and we press like we did against Cardiff, I think there's a good chance we can blow them away by half time. But if we're still a bit leggy and we're thin on the ground with numbers, etc., and no Herbie, I think this is going to be a ding dong, a bit of a Reading game, a spectacle, but one that we won't get what we want. That's my guess. So 2-2.
Yeah, Nick is going to leave us. He obviously clearly wanted to get all that plugging in before he knew he was going to shoot on. His missus does work late, so he's got to go and do his best, Gordon Ramsay, to get meal ready for when his partner comes home. And happy birthday for the other day as well. Again. So Nick, thanks for joining us tonight. It's good to get you on.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Nick.
Before the end of the season.
I'll listen to the rest of the podcast in the kitchen while I'm cooking away.
We won't slag you off then, don't worry.
We need to cook along with Nick. We need to cook along
No,
with Nick
you did that.
as an after show.
Cook along with Nick. Right, yeah.
Only
Cheers,
Cheers,
mate.
gents. Catch you later.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Bye-bye.
So let me just read out a few of the comments before we quickly get a summary on the women's game, what we got going on here. So, my score, I think in the chat, I went in our prediction thing, I went 3-0. I'm feeling confident, and that was before the presser, but I'm still going to say sod it, 3-0. I think I went definitely Ross with a goal. I think I might, Ross, maybe, I think I might have picked Dale. I did pick Talai. That may not happen. But I just feel the way that we're getting these set pieces and the likes of what Mitchell and Ross are doing, it's going to definitely cause teams like Huddersfield to decide on how they're going to manage these corners, because they try and keep Mitchell at bay, as Stevenage try to do. Then Ross is going to come in and cause you problems, let alone the other players that are all going to be in for a chance as well. So I'm still going to stick with my 3-0. Mark says, Cleverly is so playing it cool. Talai is going to start. Let's just see. Andrew, we need to channel our inner Stevenage. Harold's going 1-1 with a score. Nicky's going 3-0 as well. Mitchell, Peppel and Ross. Talai, 2 from the bench, says that Michael Hawkes. I said 2-0 before, but he's going to go now with 2-1. Stephen Cooper's going with 4-1. Matt Montgomery, a 2-1 or a 3-2. What else have we got in here? Nicholas G, 2-1. Voodoo asked Eric Adams. So Voodoo, what's he said? Just recent. Oh yeah, that was it. He said about, can we have regular Exeter updates until the end of the season? Just recent results and the table. No comments. So maybe I can sort that out for you. The Exeter update, sponsored by Voodoo.
It'll be Scum update, sponsored by Bin Juice.
Juice.
Get your fragrance now. Speaking actually, as I've got it up on screen, but Andy did remind me as well. We had our 1,000th follower on Facebook the other day. So Carl did a little mug giveaway. So I've just got to get the wife to kindly produce those for me, which she will do. It was Tony Philpotts who won that, which when I looked at his address, he had an EX postcode. So it could well just be, unfortunately, no, he's in Barnstable, don't worry. He's not too close. Without giving too much away for GDPR reasons, of course. Yes, he said, it seems that I've won a mug. I'm going to come and present it to you with the mug. So I'll get, if he's listening, and he might not be, but I'll get that sorted for you and get that sent off, no problem at all. And I think we'll do a few other bits of giveaways as the season comes to an end. As you know, you can get your merch. Just visit theblock9.co.uk and you'll find the Etsy store there. Also a shout out to, I'm seeing my best man who I haven't seen for a very long time, just because you get busy with stuff. On Saturday, we got back in touch last week, and his son Killian, who's 9, same age as Sophie, is a big fan of the show as well. So a shout out to Killian Sampson, and she'll look forward to seeing Kev. He is coming down with his son, but for the Huddersfield game. So looking forward to meeting him as well. So shout out to them. The women's game then, Gav. Another good result, as you sort of said before we officially went live earlier. It could have been several goals, but the woodwork seemed to get in the way.
Yeah. So home to Cheltenham. Picked a reasonably attacking side, which was good. Played some good stuff early. They're all over in the first half. I think they hit the woodwork 7 times in the game, which I've never seen before ever, I have to say. They should have been 6-0 up probably at halftime. And they weren't. They were 1-0 up from a deflected goal after all that. Came out second half, played with a bit more intensity, scored 2 more. Paris Dalton getting, I think, a first goal of the season from a corner, which was good. Very similar to the men's type, coming in and sweeping with the right foot. Ellie Noble scoring a good close range header. And it's either, I think Tiana Telsa is going to take the credit for the second goal. I think it come off her arse and one in the bottom corner, having a shot from outside the box. But it was a good display. They should have won by a lot more. Didn't. But they have now, I think that's 5 games, 5 clean sheets. I think they've scored 14 goals, something like that in that time. So their defence at the back was really solid. Caitlin Smith came on at half time, I think, for Sooty, for Alabama Sooty, and played well. So they've got really good depth in defence now. And the next two games are the double header against Bournemouth. Both mean a lot. So Bournemouth are up there with them in the league. And they've got a league game at Bournemouth on Saturday. And then the following Saturday, they've got them in the cup final. So this is going to be an interesting little game of double header here. It'll be a bit like a Champions League semi-final, but one's got to lift a trophy at the end of it, which will be interesting. So we'll be good, and I think the girls are in good form. They're looking good confidence. They're playing well. They just need to get, as they said at the end. And one thing I say, the girls are great. My eldest had about 20 photographs and has got pretty much the entire squad signed on a Argyle shirt on the back, with Ellie Noble being the favourite player because my daughter's called Ellie too. But they had they were really good afterwards, and all of them said Marie's going to have us in for shooting practice this week because goal difference and all that. So really good game again. There's about 1,000 there, I think, just under. So back to sort of standard gates, which is a little bit disappointing, but there we are. So hopefully we take double that up to the cup final. But we'll say first things first. This Sunday, 2:00 against Bournemouth away. So that's my ladies' update. And sorry that I'm not quite as easy on the eye as Heather. I do have a face for radio, but there we are.
No, thank you for that, Gav. Heather will be back to join us. You can catch the game on Sunday on Argyle TV. I believe they streamed it on the Sunday just gone as well, so you can get your fix there. Right, just read out some more comments before we are just over an hour and a half in. So thank you, everybody, for sticking with us tonight. Stephen Cooper says, have not been a Shore Pride for 40 years. Grumps, thanks tonight, Mike. You're the man. Yeah, it's great down there if you can get out and about. Might bump into Andy with his dog as well, so stop and say hello. Nikki saying Seb Campbell has signed his first professional contract. Oh, okay, so that must have got announced then. So some more breaking news from the Block 9 podcast show. So thanks for that, Nikki. Obviously, of course, if you missed it earlier, the other breaking news was that Galloway is being called up for his international duty. So the Bradford game has been postponed, as we saw earlier, to the delight of the Chicken podcast who dropped in earlier just to vent their disapproval of that, and then quickly shot off like they were getting chased by a fox. Stevie Vaughan saying Bolton have to play everyone around us, as we read out just then. Their fixtures in those top teams was quite interesting. Bolton's for sure. Ben Collins also dropping in saying good evening, gents. Rambo's knows Bradford game is postponed yet, as we just mentioned. Mark, the things we do for love. I don't like cricket. Oh no. But I love Formula One. I do like cricket, actually. Andrew T saying Exeter took points off Bournemouth. Last 8 games for Argyle, 1-6, drawn 1, lost 1, 19 points, 19 out of 24, second behind Lincoln. He does keep us up to date with all of his charts and that in our group. Like I said, if you want to join our WhatsApp group, DM one of us and we'll send you the link to come in and join. There's a lot of us in there now, which is great. It is building nicely. Biggest game of our season, Coco says, for Saturday. Probably not wrong there in that one. What we got? Ads is going with 3-2. TC playing at core. I think I'm getting back to where we were before. So we'll leave it as that. So thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We'll be back definitely this Saturday for the post Huddersfield show again at 7:30. Yeah, and this one I'm feeling good about. So, Andy, any final words from yourself before we sign off?
No, just looking forward to it now. I just want Saturday to be here and us to go at Huddersfield and give them a good game, get an early goal and just batter them a bit. Yeah,
Gavin, from yourself?
Yeah, it's hopefully they've got a bit of legs in them. I think they will be because they know they've now got 2 weeks off. So it'll be run yourself into the ground. Knowing you've got a spare weekend, if they win Saturday, I'm sure TC's lurk them with win Saturday, boys. You'll be back in on Thursday or something along those lines. So they'll all be battling hard, like the old-fashioned managers used to. So, yeah, look, it's going to be a tough game. I hope we come out on top. If we do, I know we keep saying this every week, but we really believe then I think we can get the top 6. If we don't, it's going to be tougher. Although now we've got 2 weeks to get some of the squad back, because it should even give us, I think, Ibrahim back in those 2 weeks. So we should be Ibrahim, Talai, etc., etc. So yeah, that's it. I think just got to be play with intensity. Saturday, if we can play with intensity like we did against Cardiff, we should blow them away. But I'm just worried that we've got not enough gas in the tank.
No, well, we should see. I just noticed a comment I hadn't recognised before. Troby 2053, bit worried about injuries losing us this game. Don't worry about it. That we'll go in there with the attitude and application to absolutely take it to Huddersfield. You can be absolutely assured of that. I don't know who the ref is on Saturday, Stephen. Apologies, but
it'll be crap whoever he is.
Yeah, Michael Hawke saying they even let a Reading fan into their WhatsApp group. They let
I don't know why you did that for, Mike. Oh, honestly.
I know it's terrible, and I saw his comment about, do you say hello to you or your dog when you bump into you? Let's just hope, for me, on Saturday, we can send Bim Peppel off for his first international call-up with an even bigger smile on his face, with a goal and 3 points, or maybe more, and 3 points. Let's look forward to it on Saturday. Enjoy the game, everybody.